Hello once again. I'm retired New York City Police Detective Bill Cox. Our so-called 9/11 hero, Charles Giles, has been seen on a video that was shown on Fox News, actually as recently as this past 9/11. On the video, he is seen transporting an individual, actually placing him into a citywide ambulance on 9/11 in the vicinity of the World Trade Center on that day. That itself should be sufficient enough. However, as you'll see in his own words, he describes a little different story than I actually got from that individual. So we'll see it, and then after that, I'll let you know exactly what I got on the phone from an individual.
He was an elevator mechanic in the towers. He had spaghetti for legs. And I don't mean to be graphic, but there was blood spurting everywhere.
Martin, the Russian ladies were like spaghetti.
We had to rush him to St. Vincent's Hospital. I later found out that the gentleman we had brought in had passed on.
Running each other over, and I made my way back to my office on Water Street. And when I got upstairs, I looked out my window to see what was going on, and the Second World Trade Center just
later, of course, the second sonic boom, which of course would have been the second tower and the second plane.
What about injuries, John? Can you tell us?
The most terrible and heartrending thing about this is
Right around now.
Yes, that's me.
That is you, isn't it, Mr. Griffith?
Yeah, that's me.
Had you ever seen that before?
No, this is the first time I've seen it.
Okay, I kind of thought that was you.
I get goosebumps in my...
I can imagine it was, but I had a feeling when I saw your story and the way you and your wife told it, and then I found out you were an elevator operator, knowing that this person that was in the ambulance thing had made a claim about taking somebody who was an an elevator operator to St. Vincent's. I put two and two together, and I said, even though it's not the clearest to see the picture in there, I said, that fellow appears to be the same fellow that I found to be Arturo Griffith. So,
yeah, that was me. Yeah.
September 11th, 2001. Thousands are starting their workday inside the giant twin towers of the World Trade Center. Husband and wife Arturo and Carmen Griffith both work as elevator operators in the twin towers. It is where they met and kissed for the first time.
He was running the freight elevator that goes from B6 all the way to 107. I ran the local cars that went from 78 to 107. I took those people every morning.
But this day will be like no other.
At 8:46, an American Airlines jet crashed into the 94th through the 98th floor of the World Trade Center North Tower.
Passengers on elevators feel the whole tower sway. On the 78th floor, Carmen Griffith hears a tremendous noise. Within seconds, the jet's fuel has ignited into a ball of fire that explodes through the building. On the 78th floor, the fireball shoots out the back wall of Carmen's elevator.
I saw the fire go back into the wall, and I stood up and pried my fingers into the wall, into the double doors, and just pulled. And I looked. There was no lights. It was dark, and the smoke, it was a lot of smoke. I remember the people just coming through underneath my legs, and the gentleman jumped over my head, and I went to look back to make sure that nobody was inside of the elevator. I didn't see anyone there. I'm looking at this ball of fire, and all I could do was say, "Oh God," and I closed my eyes real tight, and I closed my mouth, and it just brushed and burnt my whole face.
Carmen Griffith has escaped with bad burns from a flaming elevator on the 78th floor and is now in a stairwell on her way down to the lobby.
So I was going down the stairs screaming because my face was still cooking. I mean, I could feel the intense, like if someone took you and put you in the oven, I could imagine how the meat feels. I know how it feels.
Confused and in pain, Carmen finally makes it out of the building. It is a frightening sight. Carmen knows her husband Arturo is in the building, but she has no idea what has become of him.
The only time I saw my husband that morning was when we came in together and I kissed him.
At 10:15 a.m., the North Tower is still standing, but doomed. People inside are scrambling to safety.
When I saw the building collapsing and I heard the nurses screaming and people were passing out, I heard in the hallway, I knew my husband was in that building and that he was dead. And I said, "You don't have to tell me nothing. You don't have to tell me. He's gone."
Carmen does not know that Arturo is in another hospital, having survived the crash of his elevator with a shattered leg.
And I was crying. I had the nurses crying, and, I was asking, please find out, look for something, do something. She was working there. I know she's dead.
Both are grieving over their lost love. And then, incredibly, a few days later, they are reunited with the help of relatives.
I was ecstatic. I couldn't even really tell you how it felt. I just felt like life just bounced back inside of me and just, oh my God, I got my companion.
Man, to me, it was like the biggest gift I've got in my life.
Well, as you can see, folks, some people, like Mr. Giles, actually provided a service on 9/11. It doesn't really make you a hero, though. And unfortunately, some people have the need to want to embellish or exaggerate, all right, and fabricate certain things on the story. But I'm very happy to report that Mr. Griffin is alive and well and walking around pretty well on those legs that would describe that they were only spaghetti. I want you to keep tuned, all right, to the 9/11 Scam on his page. If we can continue to provide a public service and expose people that are acting this way, we'll be more than happy to do so.